Today I'm going to go over leg curl. Obviously, you see that I'm seated. They come in, hamstring curl, leg curls come in different, either seated or you're laying prone, face down. So, and those prone ones are it's either a flat bench or there's a hinge where that, I guess that apex where your hips sit. So it doesn't matter what machine you're doing. There's a few kind of points of performance that I think are super valuable. I'll demonstrate and kind of talk to them on here. And the ones for the lying one, the prone one, they're pretty darn similar actually. And actually, maybe a little bit easier actually. Because we chose this one because it was like, do we buy two pieces of equipment or one? We bought one, it's way better, and that's why we chose this, okay? But it provides the service we want. So getting to it, this guy in particular, if you're in a seated one, kind of rule of thumb is this, is you should be able to stick your legs through this, like completely flex your quads and pull your toes to your shin. If you can't do that, this right here isn't at the right, you haven't adjusted, because there's a lot of adjustments that go on with these, like leg length and this pressure and all these sort of things. So you should be able to flex your legs completely, pull your toes to the shins, and you should feel a real deep hamstring pull. That's the idea. So I literally want to take that position, and here I've got handles, okay? So depending on how you can get this to happen, I'm trying to drive my butt into this as much as I can, down into here to stabilize this. So either I'm going to pull or I might push. Or in this, I might push against whatever, but typically the handles is pretty simple. It doesn't seem right, but I'm going to pull down into this. Right, this is going to anchor my butt, because the last thing I want to do is go into a lever and my hips slide forward as I'm curling, because if I'm not anchored in this, every hip curl I do, my butt will shift forward. So I want to keep my butt back, okay? So I'm going to hold this, flex my toes to my shin as I curl. That's the other side too, is like, there's two kind of options, and I just say, was one better than the other? Not necessarily, right? A lot of people want to push their toes as they curl, but for me, I don't like doing that, because it kind of, you further stabilize the anterior side and you take away the posterior, and we just don't want to. It's like an artificial stability. It's like shrugging on the bicep curl. We don't want to do that. So again, if I pull my toes to my shin, what have I done? I've put tension on the posterior side. Awesome. So that allows me to get to full extension, because I'm flexing my quads at the top, curling at the bottom, keeping my toes to my shin, okay? So if you roll me over, not really much has changed. Right? If it's flat, whatever, I want to make sure my pelvis stays down, which is why most prone ones have like a little arching, a little hinge, or a little apex, because that way your hips you don't go into pelvic tilt as you're trying to curl. It keeps that pelvis in a neutral position to make sure the hamstring is fully elongated and stretched. Okay, so in most all lying ones, there's handles of some sort out in front of you or underneath of you. That's the big one, is just like this. Why am I pulling down also? Because if I engage my lats by pulling down, that's what stabilizes my pelvis. Okay, that's good. I don't want the pelvis moving as I'm trying to shorten my hamstring. Okay, so that's why if I'm laying down, I want to flex my lats to stabilize my hips so I can get full range of motion on my hamstring. And that's the big one right there, is full range of motion, maintain hip stability, and we do that by contracting our lats.